to balance that out, though, how do you make someone who's absolutely horrible look like a villain? You get somebody that's worse for him than him in the form of Carnage. And they said Carnage is nasty. On top of that, they said via Sony and everything like that, this is by far the darkest superhero movie that will fall under the Marvel brand thus far.
Good.
They said this will be completely very dark. This is going to be really bad. This is going to be really nasty. So I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out to be an R rating, a la Deadpool minus the jokes.
Yes.
Everything like that. So, again, like, they're obviously taking notes and taking listens from Marvel. Marvel's going to, and I think this, for Sony and Fox, is going to be amazing.
Well,
now,
it is about time, too. I mean, I'm sure the success of the Netflix series, having that darker tone and being so successful, is helping guide that.
I think what also helped it, too, honestly, I think everything went quiet and off the table for a little bit at first because there might have been something else that Fox was like, well, let's see what happens with this Infinity War trailer. Let's see what the reaction is.
Yes.
And then the reaction was like, boom! And it was like, okay, let's put some news out there that we're talking.
Of course.
They probably wanted to see what the reaction was going to be.
As if.
You know?
As if.
From a business standpoint, you have to. Now, to play devil's advocate, there was worries and concerns as to why they weren't doing this point initially, which was something you brought up.
Mm-hmm.
Is the fact that Disney didn't want to be affiliated with their news portion and everything like that. Well, as part of this negotiation, this is how it goes via the grapevine of the sources that are out there. That in terms of these negotiations, they're good sources. Fox will retain control, ownership, whatever you want to call it, of their sports and their news. Disney is completely 100% uninterested, do not want any portion of that.
Okay.
So Fox keeps their sports and keeps their news 100% ownership.
Mm.
Now, as far as the movie franchises and stuff, that is where Disney gets that. Disney gets that portion, which works out for Fox because they're failing with it. They are failing. Deadpool was a great hit, but you don't really credit Fox for that. You credit Ryan Reynolds' animosity about keeping the character the way it was.
Animosity is not a good thing.
I mean, not the word I was looking for. What was the word I was looking for? Anyway, the point is
intensity,
and passion for keeping it the way it was. I mean, Ryan Reynolds sat on that role for about 6 years, motionless. Like, I'm not doing this if you think we're doing what you did in Wolverine. We're not doing this. And they're like, well, you're under contract. And he was like, then I will sit out my contract because I'm not doing it. He's like, I'm not affiliating myself with what is not Deadpool. If we're doing Deadpool, we're doing it.
Yeah. And
if we're not doing it, if that's what you think you're doing, then I'm going to just sit. And then when the contract comes out, you can do whatever the hell you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Ferocity. Thank you, Dan Law. That was the word I was looking for. Ferocity. See, I stopped cutting promos and I forgot my vocabulary. But, you know, he was very passionate and adamant that was the way it's going to be done. And then look what it did for them. So you don't really credit Fox for that. You credit him for that.
Exactly.
And everything like that. And I'm sure, you know, that leaked test footage that was animated years ago. Yeah, I'm sure someone had a hand in that, you know, to really show them. And everything like that. So, yeah, it's going to get interesting. And then now also with the, I read more into, in case you haven't heard, James Franco obviously is the big talk of town right now because of his kind of sort of biopic, what's the name of the movie he's got out?
The Disaster Artist.
The Disaster Artist.
Which we need to watch that fucking movie
which
soon.
he's getting rave reviews for.
I'm not surprised.
It was also announced, it was rumored, but then it was finally completely announced, he is in fact playing Multiple Man. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the interesting thing. It's an X-Men property. It's under quote unquote a Fox label, so to speak. However, the way it's actually working is him and his brother have actually joined forces business-wise and created their own movie studio. Mm-hmm. This film is being created under their movie studio, and he's a big lover of the of not necessarily not just the character. But he's modeling what they're doing right now after what Ryan Reynolds did. And it's more of a sense of not only just loyalty to the character, but not afraid to go after that hard R. And that's what he wants to do for Multiple Man.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I want to follow that model of what they did with that. I want to follow the model. He mentions, I want to follow the model of what they're doing with Venom. They're not afraid to go for the hard R.
Yeah.
I want to follow what they're doing with the Punisher. He goes, that's all. He's like, so that's the route they're going. So he's like, though, yes, he is playing Multiple Man, they're nowhere near ready to start putting into... He's like, they're all still in very, very, very early phases. Mm-hmm. Everything is still being plotted out. He says he wants this done right. He says because what he also credits Deadpool for doing, other than being adamant and saying, hey, don't be afraid about going for the hard R, he feels Deadpool and Logan... He's like, because Deadpool... He says that if you really look at Deadpool, Deadpool is an action, romance action movie. If you really look at it, it's actually a romance action movie. He says if you look at Logan, it's a western.
Yeah.
It is a western film. He goes. So he says they weren't afraid to jump outside that superhero demographic and push it a different direction, and that's what he wants to do with Multiple Man. He doesn't want to pigeonhole into a superhero movie, and he commended them for being brave and bold enough to go different directions with their movies, to the point where he said Deadpool, at the forefront of it, because it came before Logan, created a new superhero genre of film, and not staying within that superhero realm, and actually creating its own genre where you can do other genres of film under the umbrella of a superhero movie.
Touché.
But you could, so that's what he wants to do with Multiple Man.
Touché. I agree and actually admire that a lot.
Yeah, so he said him and his brother, this is their first, again, they just joined forces to make this company, and this is like their first project, and not only is it their first project now, it's their first major project. It's a big thing. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's what's going on there.
Can we seriously, though, get, the possession of Jonah Hill, a full feature-length film before anything else? Because I want to see that. I would seriously start a Kickstarter to see an entire feature film of the possession of Jonah Hill, or the exorcism of Jonah Hill.
Dorian Bell. I played football with Tommy Wiseau. Can't wait to see Disaster Artist. Yeah, me too. I can't wait to see that movie.
I know.
I mean, he's getting amazing reviews. And there's a video that just hit YouTube for anybody that's interested that it just put out. It's side-by-side comparison.
Oh my God.
Of the original film with James, side-by-side with James Franco's performances of the film.
Have you ever seen The Room?
No.
Okay, so do you know the story behind the Disaster Artist or anything?
Not really, no.
Oh my God, you have to.
Okay, we haven't seen the original movie, but this is basically the premise. Go.
The Room is undescribable.
It's slated as the worst movie ever made.
Yes.
However,
but it falls into that movie of it is so bad, somehow it becomes good.
And people love it. There's
people
screenings
love it.
of it.
There are screenings of it where people go full on Rocky Horror Picture Show with this movie. Mm. The acting is terrible. The story is terrible. Everything about it is terrible, but it is so terrible that it has become a fucking cult classic.
And the main thing is that the whole story, movie-wise and behind the scenes and everything like that, revolves around its lead actor. It's this guy with long hair that you've seen with James Franco. He looks like that. Mm-hmm. And the way you hear when James Franco talks in a movie, that's the way the guy talks. He's a horrible actor. Mm-hmm. He's got a heavy, thick accent and everything like that. But it didn't stop him from pursuing his dream and making his own movie and with a guy that became his best friend and everything like that.
That's the thing. He was an actor. He wasn't getting roles, so he wrote a movie. He starred in his own movie.
He produced it.
He did basically everything behind it, and it's like, as terrible as it was, he fucking did it.
And all that, he somehow got millions of dollars to make this film, and it was like. What they were saying, it was crazy what they were spending money on for things they didn't have to. Like, for instance, the scenes where he's on the rooftop, you just filmed that on a rooftop.
Yeah.
They green screened it. You know how much it costs to green screen something? It's expensive. So, but no, they green screened him on a roof.
It look bad, you know.
But it wasn't supposed to be made to look bad.
But that's the thing. It's like he's like, these people don't understand my vision. Like he was making a serious movie.
Yeah.
He was making a
But
serious
it's-
movie with a serious, but it just
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I said, it's really hard to describe.
yeah.
It, you know.
And we've watched bits and clips of it, and we watched the original trailer, and then but everybody's like, this is Franco's like crowning jewel. I guarantee you he's gonna win Oscars for this across the
I
board.
hope so.
He's gonna win. This is everybody's always known Franco's been a great actor over
Oh, yeah.
time, and he's funny and all that stuff. But as much as he's been a star for a long time with star power, this just pushed him to like megastar status. You know,
I think so too.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. So if you get time, The Room.
yeah, we have to watch
Just
it.
the
There's-
original or the one he did?
The
Watch the
original.
original first,
Oh.
Because
that's what
we're
wanna
gonna
do.
watch the original first too.
And then when the other one comes out, so that way we again. But apparently, like even if you go on YouTube, watch trailers of The Room. And I know even say that it's the worst movie ever made, but
Yeah.
people can't help but watch it. And I know a lot of people on Facebook themselves, they love it.
Yeah.
They says you watch it and you at first you're like, what the fuck am I watching? But then as it goes, you're like, you just fall because they said there's a style and a cleverness to it that you fall in love with it because it's just that bad. And it's not like the fun, Street Fighter movie where Raul Julia that it's so bad it's good. Like this is just people fall in love with it, making it good in an artistic fashion. It's like artistically this turns out to be good. It's so weird.
I know.
Yeah, I never heard of it because when you think of bad movie ever made, you think of like Troll 2 or
Yeah.
Plan 9 from Outer Space, but I never heard of The Room.
No, like, this is
Yeah,
like
this
some
is-
sort of. This is like some sort of like romantic drama he tried to make, and it's absolutely it's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But again, other than the fact that the movie itself is terrible, what makes it terrible is him. He's a horrible actor. He's a terrible actor. He can barely speak English properly, but you can't help but watch him.
All right.
And I almost feel bad calling him a horrible actor, considering all the fame and notoriety he's gotten from this.
He's
Like,
huge
I feel-
now. He's
I
huge.
know.
Anyway,
So you said you had two
that was pretty much it.
Utes.
Two what?
Two Utes.
Two Utes?
Two Utes.
Two news bits, and that was it. It was pretty much the Marvel and the other thing. That was the whole the Infinity War and
It seemed
Marvel
like
Fox.
one big story.
It did seem like one big
Well, that was the
story.
thing. That's all it was. And then we kind of trailed off into the Hester movie because of talking about James Franco. Other than that, there's really been no big news per se. It honestly has been quiet, and expectedly so. I mean, again, last week was leading into Thanksgiving, so people gears are shifting a little bit for the time being.
Yeah, and everything's also leading up to Star Wars this month. The kids want to go, by the way, so yeah.
The kids are probably they want to go. So Jace is gonna probably get his first movie theater experience.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I guess we'll jump into Star Wars for a little bit right now. So the general consensus here is Rey going dark side because there's a lot of theories in terms of like there's the parts where you see it with Snoke and everything like that, and there's a running rampant theory that actually Rey and Kylo are actually gonna go. They're gonna flip sides.
Oh, I didn't think about that. I heard the rumor that they might be brother and sister, but we
Well, one of the major theories is that they will flip sides. What will be the swaying factor for Kylo? Because when they show him in the starship,
Yeah.
at first you think he's going to attack the ship, but then the other theory is he's going to try to save his mother in Leia.
but might fail in the process.
Right. And then, of course, again, there's the whole thing with Rey standing there above Luke with the lightsaber. There's a part later on where she is with Snoke, and Snoke's trying to turn her and everything. This could be interesting. All I know is it's going to be amazing. I can't wait.
Porgs.
Yeah, that's all you care about is porgs.
Porgs.
You're just waiting for the porgs.
I'm waiting for the porgs. They're so cute.
And the ice foxes now.
Oh my god, those ice foxes are so cute.
That was ice foxes?
Yes.
Yeah, the ice foxes. You haven't seen the ice fox?
No.
They're amazing. They're awesome looking.
Porgs.
Oh, Dan Law is saying Luke's going to go dark side.
I've heard that theory too.
Yeah?
That would be,
Yeah?
wow, that would be, I can't even.
Other quick thing, in case you haven't seen it, I put it on the Nerd Herders page, or even YouTube it. You guys have got, I've got to show you this a little bit later on too. You guys have got to see the trailer for it's the next Batman animated movie.